Emergency night landing for Air Niugini aircraft. Work begins on Simbu bypass road. And lay transport companies want action from government.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Friday's news. An Air Niugini aircraft made an emergency landing at the Jacksons Airport in Port Moresby at 7 o'clock last night. There were no casualties reported, but passengers on board that flight said it was a frightening experience for them. Air Niugini is yet to release an official statement, but it is understood the landing gear of the plane had jammed on approach to Wewak's Boram Airport, making it difficult for the plane to land and forcing it to return to Port Moresby, where aviation emergency services were on standby.
It was the Air Niugini flight PX126 bound for Wewak via Medang that made the emergency landing. Passengers on board that flight told MTV News the tires of the plane were jammed when the plane was descending for landing at Boram Airport.
And now I'm electronic problem now.
They circled 4 times before the pilots tried to land the plane again.
Pilot giving me 20 minutes again. When we try rounding the next information.
However, the landing gear remained jammed. And because the Boram Airport did not have facilities for an emergency landing, the pilot advised the passengers that they had to return to Port Moresby for an emergency landing.
Come plane on up through. You know, touch down long. We back. So I'm talking about masking. My people go straight long. Moresby now.
In Port Moresby, a team of firefighters, medical and police officers, and other support units were on standby for the emergency landing.
Apas 5%. Police bring a blade. They will wait stop now. Police come back. All PGGs all got stop inside.
Passengers say as the plane was flying over the Gulf province, the pilot tried lowering the landing gear, and fortunately, the landing gear deployed successfully.
Pilot silent inside Lobalus.
They were advised by the pilot that the emergency landing in Port Moresby was going to be less risky. The plane landed around 7:15 p.m. last night and was escorted into the tarmac by the rescue team. The emergency landing comes just days after an unusual on-board incident on an international Air Niugini flight. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Work has already started on the Simbu section of the Highlands Highway to build a temporary bypass where the landslip occurred. This is to allow for the normal flow of traffic while awaiting the fixing of the main highway section. This has affected the price of fuel in Western Highlands and Jiwaka provinces.
The landslip is one of the biggest in the last 5 years in the Highlands. It damaged properties and covered a portion of the main highway in Simbu, a 2-kilometer stretch and 3.5 kilometers wide. Landowners have demanded the government to pay a 1 million kina compensation claim. However, after coming to an understanding with relevant authorities, they removed the barricades and allowed pedestrians to walk and for civil works to start. By this afternoon, the temporary bypass will be open for light vehicles to travel and later heavy vehicles will be allowed through. While the road is still cut off, a severe fuel shortage has hit Mount Hagen as motorists and residents queue on what was left of the city's fuel.
Basbe mol put price blame gwanda blong 10 kina kamdan lo 5 kina na 2 kina although wasem so field to no straight na miblek some time lik so.
The flow of supplies into the highlands was cut off since the landslip occurred last Friday night after a heavy downpour of rain fell. Many fuel stations in Mount Hagen and Jiwaka were already closed. Fuel prices and PMV fares are also increasing, and not many vehicles are moving. The prices of goods and services are starting to increase as the supplies decreased.
Mipla line up loye all fuel nogat na mipla pagim car na boat loye na mipla stop loye na igolo wabek igolo Southern Islands too and nogat now mipla all get a pagim car loye na all get a passenger too mipla stop long time loye.
Meanwhile, the president of the Road Transport Association, Jacob Luke, who is currently in Hagen, expressed frustration over the lack of maintenance along the Highlands Highway. Luke, who also owns the Mapai Transport, negotiated with the landowners yesterday to reopen the road for construction works to be done. A local contractor, Kaya Works Civil Engineering, has volunteered to clear the road and build the temporary bypass. They said it would take at least 2 to 3 months to build the main highway again. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Transport companies in Leh, unable to deliver cargo into the highlands, have called on the government to address deteriorating road conditions and security risks. One Leh-based company says bad roads have caused their maintenance costs to rise, making it difficult for them to stay in the business. The call comes as trucks and passengers remain stranded along the Simbu and Eastern Highlands sections of the Highlands Highway.
JTI Investments is a Papua New Guinean-owned business that has contracts in the highlands. Its 25 trucks carry cargo to the Pogera mine and to Mount Hagen. But since last week, they've not been able to do any work. The landslips along the Simbu and Eastern Highlands sections causing major delays for them. Simon Yanda, the operations manager, says if the delays continue, it could result in workers being laid off.
This is a problem every time. Every time, you know, Chimbutasol, Ogarab road blockade, Ogarab road Bagarab. But government must pay fund if plant big money, go inside Lodisla main major highway where plant money inside Lodisla country benefit land. Because by that time, this main highway Bagarab na problem time, Ogara affected Lodisla.
The high cost of keeping trucks like these on the road is strangling businesses like JTI. Simon explains that the wear and tear on a single truck caused by bad road sections means they have to spend anything between 6 and 20,000 kina after every trip. It's a sizable chunk for a small trucking business.
We look at development country walk him, but anti-population country walk him, but it seems like Ogara development goal must be. Not provinces inside the country are more affected. People benefit long government, while government them try and best law developing mostly, but I'm not developing country yet.
In Mount Hagen today, a severe fuel shortage caused by the landslips in Simbu. Prices have risen, the situation desperate as residents try to stock up on fuel. Bad road conditions have plagued transport companies for years. But it has not only affected transport companies. Families travelling into the highlands also suffer from security risks created by opportunists. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Leh.
Residents of Leh living along the Unitec Bumayong Road are calling on the provincial government to seal their section of the road. While the national election is just months away, the Unitec Bumayong Road hasn't been sealed for more than a decade.
This is where the road ends. From this end, driving through to Bumayong is yet to be sealed. This stretch of the road was left forgotten while the other feeder roads like this one was sealed off 2 years ago. Hariman Bayamu is a long-time resident of Bumayong. He first came and settled here in 1979. Bayamu says the last time this road was sealed was in 1984.
32 years now, people have development come outside the road. People stop us now. You can look at the road and back up. Close to 32 years now.
The road deteriorated over the years, leaving it in its current state. Much of the damaged road is caused by rain. During sunny weather, it is dusty, another health hazard to commuters and residents. The bad road also causes delays for residents and road users to get to their desired destination on time.
Now I'm 32 years now.
Last Friday, workers and residents raised concerns over the state of the Minford Heaven Road, another road in the city that has been neglected. The residents are hoping that the 7.5 million kina the Morobe provincial government budgeted for this year on the Lay City Road, drainage and grass cutting will solve this problem once and for all. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Lay.
When we come back, soldier involved in the New Year's Eve confrontation with police appears for mention at the Boroko District Court. Stay with us. Welcome back. Lieutenant Joe Mondo, one of the two soldiers who were allegedly assaulted by Port Moresby police on New Year's Eve, appeared for mention today at the Boroko District Court. Lieutenant Mondo was charged under the Firearms Act for being in possession of an unlicensed pistol.
Lieutenant Mondo represented himself in court this morning. The circumstances which amounted to his charge were read out to him by District Court Magistrate Maristella Pineup. When responding to the charge, Lieutenant Mondo said he understood the charge, however, pleaded not guilty to the allegation. It is alleged that on the 31st of December 2016, police officers found an unlicensed firearm in Lieutenant Mondo's possession at Tauroma. After the incident, there was a confrontation between soldiers and police at the Boroko police station. This incident resulted in the assaulting of senior police officers in the NTD command. Mondo was questioned and later arrested and charged with one count of being in possession of an unlicensed firearm. An appeal by police prosecution to order the accused to surrender the magazine of the confiscated pistol was not allowed to be heard today. Instead, Magistrate Pineup told police prosecution to prepare proper submissions on the surrendering of the magazine. The defendant's 500 kina police bail was converted into a district court bail. His case has been adjourned to 26th January. Gunga, National EMTV News.
The National Court has dismissed the application of one Chris Kaink, who is seeking a judicial review to revisit the decision of the director of the Legal Training Institute, which terminated his project contract. Justice Lekana Manablu ruled that the plaintiff did not exhaust all available administration remedies through the Public Service Commission before coming to court. Eric Harupma with this report.
The applicant Chris Kayank and his lawyer were present this morning at the Wageni National Court to receive the judgment handed down by Justice Lekana Manablu. The court added on the 28th of September 2016 the applicant Chris Kayank, who is the project manager, sought an application of leave for a judicial review to quash the decision of defendant Pauline Mogis, director of the Legal Training Institute, which terminated the plaintiff's project contract. On 22nd of December 2016, the plaintiff filed an application under Order 3 Rule B of the National Court Rules and appeared in person. However, there were no representation by the state lawyers and the leave application was granted as an ex parte. Justice Lekana Manablu, after considering the plaintiff's reasons of a judicial review, told him that the application sought on 12th of September was 12 months before the time frame as per Section 16 of the Public Service Commission Act. Nablu advises that the applicant should have exhausted all the administration remedies through the Public Service Commission before coming to court. Therefore, the court dismissed the proceedings as well as rejecting the application. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
A father of three has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for being in possession of an offensive weapon. 28-year-old Samson Dasi from Kiunga in the Western Province pled guilty before the Boroko District Court today on the charge of being in possession of a homemade pistol. Police confiscated the weapon from Darcy on Wednesday this week at the Gordon's Market. Magistrate Maristella Pineup convicted Darcy on the grounds that he was not a first-time offender. Magistrate Pineup reduced the maximum jail term of 5 years to only 2 years because Darcy showed remorse for his actions. A ward councillor of a local level government in Lae has called on Morbe provincial government and the district to help her deliver her outstanding services from last year. Carol Yawing said one of her projects, which was part of her 5-year development plan, was funded by a business house and not by government funds. Yawing said the provincial government and other higher authorities should release funds on time in order to deliver basic services to the people.
With the delays of funding from the provincial government last year, most basic services in each ward in Lae district, especially Ward 2, were not delivered. Councillor for Ward 2, Carol Yawing, said because of the delay, she sought help from few business houses to help fund few of her projects. Yawing said the provincial government should see efforts made by the business houses and have funds available on time to deliver basic services to the people.
Me like looking government of the day and the authority, lo walking something straight, lo come down about reaching me plan lo tamla lo here. So that one of my remaining projects below me must deliver him on time.
This health center is an example of a basic service which has been a need for the people residing at Kaswari Road. The infrastructure was funded by a resident of the area, Sir Bob Sinclair. The health center is playing an important role in serving residents from the area and other parts of Lae, especially women and children.
For example, for this one, next looking me mixing doses time I'm sick, no me go back. And we don't have to pay any fees, it's just 50 toya for the small ones and 1 can of adults.
Councillor Yawing has few more outstanding projects to deliver before her term in office ends. She has submitted a request of 30,000 kina to Lae district to help build a staff house for the health center last year, but nothing has been done.
Me got believe or say me can deliver him tupla or tripla more projects 2017. I'm confident, I'm very confident about it. The problem is just release what is owed to Ward 2 because Lord, this Lord paper money me no been kissing. Now he come up now, now he build up. Where am stop lo where please give him lo me because me la deliver.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
A frustrated landowner group has voiced their concerns over land rights in Western Province. The Mahomal Kwapton Incorporated Land Group claim they are the rightful beneficiaries of the Kutumabip land, which is currently a special mining lease to mining operations by Oktedi Mining Limited. The ILG group told EMTV News they are now giving the government and relevant authorities 14 days to respond to their petition.
This group of landowners claim they are the authentic landowners of the Kutimabip land, which is within the Special Mining Lease Land 1 and the township. Yesterday, a petition was presented to the relevant authorities demanding a redirect of benefits within 14 days.
The Mahomal Kwapton clan here announced to the board of directors of Oktedi, MRA, MLDC, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, and the people of Papua New Guinea that we are the legally legitimate customary landowners of the land in which the Oktedi mine and the township exists. We now demand that immediately all the payments, including royalties, lease payments, and all development levies and grants of any description payable to us immediately.
The ILG consists of 6 sub-tribes who form the Kwapton tribe. They said their claims are genuine as they are the only landowner group that have a registered land title and an incorporated land group certificate.
Current beneficiary groups, they were the first settlers. They settled there. None of them has got ILC certificate or even a title of the land, any parts of the land. We are the only group and the clan tribe which we received the IELTS certificate for that land. And therefore, we are the legally recognized principal landowners of Oktedi.
Meanwhile, there is a court proceeding before the Supreme Court on the ownership of the disputed land. While awaiting the outcome of that proceeding, they are exercising their rights as an ILG. MTV News has contacted Oktedi Mining Limited but has not received a response on the matter. Marilyn Diaukatam, National MTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3150 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3075, $0.4086 Australian dollars, €0.2873 euro and 35 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee, cocoa and copra closed higher while gold closed the day lower. Copper closed lower while palm oil and crude oil closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 63.28 points lower, the ASX closed at 45.75 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 44.81 points lower. Among stories after the break, concerns raised on the increase of illegal settlements in East New Britain. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. The East New Britain Police has yet again drew public attention to the growing number of illegal settlements established on the fringes of Kokopo town. Recent police statistics have indicated that most of the crimes reported comes from the settlements around the town. East New Britain Police Provincial Police Commander Senior Inspector Joseph Tabali says in order to control crime, they need to control illegal settlers. Edwin Fidelis reports from Kokopo.
Rapid urbanization in Kokopo town is mounting pressure on the East New Britain Police, and yet again the police have expressed concerns about the growth of illegal settlements that have already begun producing daunting results for the province. The head of the East New Britain Police, Senior Inspector Joseph Tabali, says a few settlements that are encroaching on the fringes of Kokopo town are putting additional stress on their work in the province.
We've got, so many crimes, offences committed at that particular settlement. Okay, and it's entirely up to the provincial government, provincial administration to do something about it.
Illegal settlements in Papua New Guinea are known for all the wrong reasons, such as ethnic tensions, underground trading of marijuana and omru, and petty crimes. While its effects are yet to be felt in a big way in East New Britain province, those in authority are concerned about the future of this growing town.
As soon as we get the settlements established in the provinces or in these provinces, we are inviting people to come. Okay? To Eben Drift, they come and they don't look for job. They come and they create problems in the province. So the settlements in province, I would like to discourage this.
For many who are settling illegally, they are being reminded time and again about the disadvantages of squatting on land that doesn't belong to them. East New Britain province is experiencing a development boom, and new developments means more land will be needed. Some of the unused lands are being occupied by squatters obtained through illegal means, but many of those who have already settled know all too well that they will be evicted, but still they chose to remain. Edwin Fidelis, National MTV News, Kokopo.
East New Britain Province recorded yet another safe and trouble-free festive season. A joint police festive operation that ended last week had kept surveillance for at least 6 weeks. No major incidents were reported. However, police announced today that they have made a total of 74,000 kina from random roadblocks conducted during the operation. Most of the money collected came from vehicles breaching traffic rules.
It's not always that the East New Britain Police make fortunes on every Christmas and New Year periods every year. But during the recent festive season, it was different. Over the festive period, random roadblocks were conducted by traffic officers as part of a police operation to ensure safe festive celebrations. But for some drivers, they were not lucky. Many of them have been charged with operating unregistered vehicles, overloading and drink driving. East New Britain Provincial Police Commander Senior Inspector Joseph Tabali says the roadblocks conducted over the festive periods have made a lot of money for the provincial government.
During the Christmas and New Year operation, police operation, especially when we did, my traffic members did the roadblock, random roadblock, we made 74,000 for the province, wishing the TIN. That's a revenue for the East New Britain provincial government, 74,000 plus. And for the police alone, for the state, we made about 13,000.
The 6 weeks long police festive operations in East New Britain was rendered a success, despite limited police resource and manpower. Apart from the roadblocks, there were other noticeable achievements by the police during the festive operations.
I profile the case that you are aware of, and all of the people in the country are aware of, that robbery at the Tropic Air terminal at Jackson's Airport, 7 Mile, 1.2 million. China was taken away by robbers. The 2 escaped from hospital to East New Britain, and they were arrested during Christmas period.
Although the festive operations may have ended, the East New Britain police boss has acknowledged his men and women who have committed themselves to make the Christmas and New Year celebrations a safe one for the province. Alphonse Ahmed Jr., National EMTV News, Kokopo.
Assistant Commissioner of Police for Northern Region, Peter Guinness, says police in his command will be doing a rollover during the election. This means that members of the RPNGC will combine their resources to assist one province carry out its election before moving on to assisting another province. However, Northern Command will need adequate logistical support in terms of mobility.
Police Commissioner Gary Bucky says the police headquarters will not be supporting regional commands. It's up to them to utilize their own resources. However, Divisional Commander for Northern Region Peter Guinness said he will be asking the Police Commissioner to provide enough logistical support. At this time, his command has limited mobility and manpower.
And I will continue to talk to that, and will continue to be liaising with the Electoral Commission officials to find out where they will want us and how they will want us to help them.
The Northern Command has held its first meeting and has appointed officers to look into the election gathering. Guinness is yet to meet with officers from the National Electoral Commission to find out where and how they would want the police to help in terms of security preparations during the elections.
We'll get our members from Ley and Madang. We'll go up to Eastern Islands. We will do a rollover election in Eastern Islands. We will come down to Madang. We'll do a rollover in Madang, and then we'll come and finish it off in Morobe. With the manpower that we have, we will combining them with the logistics that we have, the firepower that we have.
However, the RPNGC will be making a submission to the national government to source funding to support this election, as the RPNGC still faces financial constraints that may affect the police operations during the elections. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Ley.
While the government has been delivering free education, teachers have been feeling mistreated. Teachers in the southern region say they are underpaid, while many are still awaiting their biannual leave fares. The PNG Teachers Association says the government should not use the current economic condition as an excuse to ignore the cries of the teachers.
Frustrated teachers from Western Province have come together and petitioned relevant provincial authorities to receive their outstanding entitlements. This comes as a concern as teachers only from the North Fly have received their entitlements. Teachers in South Fly and Middle Fly districts feel they have been neglected for far too long by the Western Provincial Government. The petition is now calling for payments into their account before the start of the school year on January 23rd.
Petition has about 10 different things that we have outlined, and mainly our focus is on the teachers' leave fair, especially 2016, 2014 and 15. So we have given 14 days notice to the Provincial Education Division of Western Province and the provincial administration to look into the matter and address us or pay us what is due for, our rightful entitlement. Okay, and if it is not paid within these 14 days before the resumption of 2017 academic year on the 23rd, which is a week remaining, 23rd of January 2017, then we have resolved, or we said that we are going to take some other actions to fill in the due resumption forms, but we will have sit-in strike, not strike, sorry, sit-in protest. Okay, that's one of the plan of actions that we have negotiated in our gathering. Two, we might ask the provincial education administration to issue or give us mass release to go back to our own provinces and teach if they cannot cater for our demands and make us happy. Three, third thing is we have decided, and we are working around the clock to take the provincial education administration and the relevant authorities to court.
Leave fares and entitlements has long been an issue for teachers in the southern region. Last year, NCD teachers were left stranded during the festive period as they were not able to receive their leave fares. PNG Teachers Association Southern Regional Secretary Raymond Ray says the teacher leave fares is a result of lack of proper planning and budgeting in provinces to cater for the teachers.
On provincial education advisors in Central Province, Milne Bay, Gulf, Western and Oro, the Northern Province, including the Assistant Secretary for the Division of Education in NCD, to take every measures possible to address the teacher leave fare issues in 2016. Schools and the teachers will resume on the 23rd of January, which is only about 1.5 weeks away, and teachers are still lining up at the Provincial Education Headquarters asking for their leave fares. These are legal entitlements of teachers. This is not a wage fixation agreement that we have to fight through with the Teaching Service Commission. This is a legal entitlement of the teachers, and teachers receive their biannual leave fares every 2 years.
Merlin Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
The United Church has been expanding in the remotest parts of Central Province. A local couple took it up to their values to fund the United Church in Keria Village in the About district as part of maintaining a peaceful community. The United Church was opened late last year by Reverend Emilia Mainadi in the remotest part of About district.
A couple opened their hearts to the needs of the community they live through funding a United Church building in Keria, a remote village in the About district.
The community, myself and my wife, we do sponsor the church, just not because of we have money, but it's because how we love God. So, and it's our Christian duty to give money and to build the church.
Without government funding, Mainadi Memorial Church was funded by the couple and was opened late last year by the community. The church cost them 26,700 kina and can cater up to 100 persons. Geert says the initial plan of the church building was done in 2005 by Pastor Yani Uai. However, due to financial constraints, it took 10 years for them to build the church.
For the last 10 years, we've been struggling, even though there was no funding from the government. We built it through our handy pocket for the last 10 years until it recently opened.
Geert says being the major sponsor of the church is a blessing to him and his family. Sawa Tohambu, National EMTV News.
The Life in the Spirit Ministries, a newly established Pentecostal church, has completed a week-long crusade in the Enga province. The crusade was an avenue the Life in the Ministries used to strengthen their faith in God. The crusade was staged in Sak Valley and attracted close to 1,000 people.
The crusade was one of the biggest gatherings for the life in the ministries in Enga province. Those who attended travelled from as far as Mount Hagen in the Western Highlands and Tari in the Southern Highlands. Founder of the Life in the Ministries, Pastor David D., encouraged those who attended to hold on to good principles in their everyday lives and declared 2017 as the year of revival. Amongst those present were Chief Justice Salamo Injia and Foreign Affairs Minister Rimbing Pato. The crusade focused on having a strong spiritual faith and doing good deeds for other people. It was conducted for 11 days, marking a historical time for the church. During the crusade, over 900 people were baptized and 250 cows were slaughtered to commemorate the event. Thaklagunga, National EMTV News.
Chukai Sports is next. Details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. 9 PNG Lewas girls who were part of the East Asia Pacific team were crowned champions in the 2017 Commonwealth Bank Country Cricket Tournament. EAPN Lewas captain Pauke Siaka and Noma Ovasuru guided the team to an 8-wicket victory against Victoria Country.
After losing the round-robin clash against the same opponent, EAP fought back and restricted Victoria Country to 8 out for 99 runs from their allotted 20 overs. PNG Lewas bowlers Ravini Oa, Pauke Siaka, Sibona Jimmy and Veru Frank were outstanding for the team. In the changeover, Noma Ovasuru and captain Siaka put on a third-wicket unbeaten 98-run to guide EAP to victory with 3 overs left. In the men's division, the EAP team captained by Vanuatu's national captain Andrew Mansale, which included 8 members of the PNG Barramundis and PNG A team, finished the 50-over competition in 6th place with no wins from 5 matches, while they finished a very respectable 2nd place in the T20 competition with 3 wins from 5 matches. The Australian Country Cricket Championships is an annual tournament which showcases the best cricket talent from regional areas around Australia, with teams from all around Australia and from the East Asia Pacific region. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
The current PNG Rugby Football Union body held a news conference yesterday to clarify factions on illegal appointment of PNG RFU executives. With the turmoil causing confusion within the rugby fraternity, Interim President Ben Frame said the board is fully aware of the dynamics of the illegal executives who appointed themselves into office in a meeting that was not sanctioned by PNG RFU nor World Rugby or IPA. He says individuals claiming that the code is in jeopardy have no extensive facts to back their assertions.
Interim President of PNG Rugby Football Union Ben Frame told media in a press conference yesterday that members of the illegally self-appointed executives of PNG RFU were not elected through the AGM nor under the Constitution.
Irrespective of whether an association has a constitution, all meetings must be convened by the public officer. The general meeting conducted by Mr. Kami and Mr. Chamaleli was not convened in this manner and therefore is void and illegal.
Frame said the current operations of the PNG RFU board is recognised by World Rugby and continues to operate as the administrators of PNG RFU in liaising matters relating to rugby union.
The PNG RFU board would have appreciated an audience with the Sports Minister prior to his acknowledgement and public support of these legally appointed executives without seeking consultation or clarification from PNG RFU, Oceania Rugby or World Rugby.
He says PNG Rugby Football Union is a legal entity with a constitution that was nominated on, accepted and passed during the last general meeting by members of the union.
In line with the constitution, the AGM was deferred due to the following reasons. No union members were compliant, the PNG RFU audited financials were not complete, and the office was waiting on confirmation of the eligibility of one of the nominees. The AGM was again further postponed at the request of World Rugby, as they are sending an official from World Rugby to be present at the AGM.
Sports Minister Justin Tchenko stated without supporting any sides, saying hearing both sides of the arguments made his stance on what he believes is right and in favour of the Constitution.
For me, I have never got involved personally or physically with rugby union. And I want to make that very, very clear. I support, and what I will push for rugby union is that they have to get the management and administration right to get the sport back on its feet for the benefit of everyone without fear or favour.
Frame said the current situation has significantly affected funding from current and potential sponsors, as well as delaying the commencement of Rugby 7's high-performance program for both men and women.
Internationally, the Puk-Puks participated in a Tier 2 international tournament in Hong Kong, and our women participated in a World Cup qualifier. This is the first time for both teams to be at these type of tournaments.
The next AGM for PNG Rugby Football Union is due to commence on the 25th of this month in Port Moresby. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
Chukai Sports continues after the break. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. Diamond Chiefs Rugby League Club, a team based in Port Moresby, will be one of two overseas teams entering the Hong Kong Nines tournament. The Diamond Chiefs was originally founded with a mission statement to help tackle men's lifestyle diseases commonly found in PNG, using rugby league as the avenue for that. The team will be taking part in the competition, which will take place at Kings Park on the 22nd of April 2017. The Port Moresby South Kira Kira Volleyball Tournament was launched today by Sports Minister Justin Tchenko, who is also the event's main sponsor. Present to witness the launching was PNG Volleyball Federation President Kila Dick, who also gave his remarks on behalf of the Federation.
Sports Minister Justin Tchenko launched the two-day competition today, along with PNG Volleyball President Kila Dick, at the Kira Kira village in the Moresby South electorate.
Volleyball officials, while you're here, have a look at some of the young talent that are playing. These might be the next superstars in in volleyball.
Moresby South has produced some of the best volleyball players in the country, and is proud of the fact that most of their players start from the village competitions and made their way up.
Over time, we've seen Vabukori, one of the Moresby South villages, who has dominated volleyball in the country and who has gone from strength to strength. And I'm sure that the other villages here can do the same.
Sports Minister Justin Tchenko, who was on hand to launch the competition, encouraged participants to challenge themselves to improve on their performances and to be competitive enough to be scouted to higher level tournaments.
Those young men and women out there, please show us your colors. Show us who you are. I would like to see 90% of those international teams to represent Papua New Guinea full of our young men and women from Moresby South.
President Dick also challenged the youths in the community to be competitive in the sport, saying the Federation will use such competitions as a platform to scout players and transition them from indoor to outdoor volleyball.
Try and identify those who are interested to transform from the indoor competition to the beach competition. This year we've been advised that we are going to take part in the Youth Commonwealth Games in Bahamas in July, so we are trying to prepare ourselves for that event.
The competition starts today and will see the final played tomorrow, along with the awarding of trophies and cash prizes. Shane Soroya, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Chukai Sports. The weather details for the next 24 hours when we come back.
Chukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, fine, then cloudy with chances of showers and thunderstorms inland in Port Moresby and Daru. Fine with cloudy periods at times in Kerema and Alotau, and mostly fine in Popondetta. In the Momase region, fine, then cloudy with possible showers and thunderstorms in Lae, and mostly fine in Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine in Lorengau and Kavieng, cloudy with rain showers and thunderstorms in Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, fine, partly cloudy with a shower or two and possible thunderstorms in Mount Hagen, and mostly fine, cloudy with a shower or two, then morning fog in Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Before we go, here is our top stories again. Emergency night landing for Air Niugini aircraft. Work begins on Simbu Bypass Road, and Lae transport companies want action from government. And that's the way it is this Friday, the 13th of January 2017. From the entire news team, pleasant viewing. Have a safe weekend. Good night.